Sorry about that. The video ran out of time, so let's continue with the problem we were working on. So again, we're replacing y with the last point here. We're replacing y with 36, replacing the x's with 0. So the problem becomes 36 is equal to, this is negative 3, and this is negative 6, and then times the a. So we get 36 is equal to 18a. And then if I divide, since it's a multiplication problem, if I divide both sides by 18, a ends up being a value of 2. So the final answer for a would be y is equal to 2 times x minus 3. Again, I'm using this problem right here. X minus 3 times x minus 6. So if you go ahead and look at problem B and go ahead and complete that, you can use this work here as kind of a guide. And when you're finished with that, turn the video back on. We're going to be looking at B and C here, and then we'll move on to problem number 8. Alright, so in problem B, the p value is 3, so we're going to replace p with 3. And the q value is 6, so it's x minus 6. If these have been negative, then I would put in here like x minus negative 3. And if 6 would have been negative, I put in here x minus negative 6. So the problems are defined to be subtraction. We're just replacing the p with the actual number. And then we're told that the y-intercept is 0, 9. So that means I'm going to find a value in this problem. We're going to replace y with 9. And like the last problem, we're going to replace the x with 0. So we end up with this 9 is equal to, this is negative 3. This is negative 6 times a. So 9 is equal to 18a. And if I divide both sides by 18, I get 9/18, which simplifies to 1/2. So the final equation here is y is equal to, and again I'm just taking this part of this equation right here and bring it down and replacing the a with 1/2. So y is equal to 1/2 times x minus 3. And x minus 6. When you're finished with problem C, go ahead and turn the video back on, and then again we're going to move on to problem 8. Alright, so in problem C, the p is negative 3 and q is negative 6. So the problem becomes y is equal to a times x plus 3 times x plus 6. So keep in mind that once we find the a value, this will be the equation that we're going to be using to write our final equation. So the y-intercept is 0, negative 9, so we're going to replace y with negative 9. Then x gets replaced with 0. So negative 9 is equal to 0 plus 3 is 3, 0 plus 6 is 6 times a. So we have negative 9 is equal to 18a. Divide both sides by 18, we're going to end up with a final answer for a to be negative 1/2. So the final answer here is y is equal to negative 1/2 times x plus 3 times x plus 6. So in problem number 8, they're asking you to set the vertex and one of the x-intercepts is given to you, write the equation. So you have two choices here. You could find the other x-intercept since you already know the vertex. The vertex is in the two x-intercepts. The vertex is exactly between the two x-intercepts. Or since we know the vertex form, we could use the vertex. So we already know the vertex, we can also use the vertex form. And so I'd recommend this problem here that since we already know the vertex, that we use vertex form. That would be the first point, and so we can plug in the h and the k. And then we can use the second point, which is the y-intercept, to plug in those numbers and come up with the a value. So if I was going to come up with the vertex form, see the first step would be is replace the h with 2. This is our h value. Squared plus the k value, and k is -2 based on the vertex. So this is what we end up with. And since we are given the intercept of 1, 0, we can replace the y with 0, and we can replace the a with 1, and we can simplify this to come up with our final answer. So this is 0 is equal to, so 1 minus 2 is -1. -1 squared is 1, so it's going to be 1a minus 2. Add 2 to both sides, get rid of the subtraction problem. And what I end up with is, this is a, 1 times a is a, so I end up with a as being 2. So this is my vertex, my vertex form. Now we know the a value. So we're going to replace a with 2, and it'd be x minus 2 squared. I guess I could use this one here as well. Minus 2. Alright. Take a look at problem B and go ahead and complete it, and when you're finished, turn the video back on. Alright, so in problem B, we're going to replace h with 1, and we're going to replace the k with -12. So that means we get rid of if I clean it up and get rid of that, take an addition of a negative and turn it into a subtraction problem, it becomes a times quantity of x minus 1 squared minus 12. And then we can replace the y value with 0. And the x value with -1. So what we end up with here is that we have a -1 minus 1, which is -2. And -2 squared is 4. So we end up with 4a minus 12. Add 12 to both sides. And then divide both sides by 4. And the a value is 3. So using this equation here, final answer is y is equal to 3 times x minus 1 quantity squared minus 12. Go ahead and finish up the third one, and then turn the video back on when you're ready to continue. Alright, so for this one here, again, we're looking for the a value. So h is 3, so it's going to be x minus 3 squared, plus my k value, which is 4.5. Alright, since we know the y is 0, and x is 6, so we're going to complete the parentheses. So 6 minus 3 is 3. 3 squared is 9, so it becomes 9a plus 4.5. Subtract 4.5 from both sides, so we have negative 4.5 equals 9a. And then we're going to divide both sides by 9, so we end up with is negative 0.5. So taking this equation here, we're going to replace the a with negative half, or negative 0.5, times the quantity of x minus 3 squared plus 4.5. Alright, so problem number 9. This is kind of taking everything we've been doing and trying to find the roots, the y-intercept, the vertex, and then once we have the roots, multiplying the two numbers together as well as add the two numbers together. So we're going to go ahead and you're going to do 9 A, B, C, and D, and that'll be it for this handout, and then you're going to move on to the next content block. We'll take a look at problem A together. So once you go ahead and work through problem A and find those roots, the y-intercept, the vertex, and then and the sum of the roots, product of the roots, and turn the video back on when you're ready to look at A. This will be the last problem I'm going to do with you, and then but again you're going to work on B, C, and D. Okay, so I'm looking for two numbers that when I add them together I get negative 10, but when I multiply them together I get a positive 16. So that means both numbers have to be negative to get the negative here, and then also both have to be negative, so I multiply them and get a positive answer. So that would be negative 8 and negative 2. So x minus 8 and x minus 2 will be the two factors. So the roots, so the first root will be 8, 0. So if I put in a 8 in the first parenthesis, that makes it a 0, and the second root would be 2, 0. So in other words, if I put x in the second one, but 2 in the second factor, I get 2 minus 2, which is 0. Alright, the y-intercept, the a value is 1. So going back to what we talked about earlier, two ways of doing this. I could put in 0 here and solve the problem. Or I can just simply take the three green numbers, 1, negative 8, and negative 2, and multiply those three numbers together to get the y-intercept. That goes back to problem number 6. Either way. So 0 minus 8 is negative 8, 0 minus 2 is negative 2, so 1 times negative 8 times negative 2 is going to be my y-intercept. So the y-intercept is going to be 0, comma, positive 16. So that's negative 8 times negative 2. The vertex, so I find the vertex, at least the x value of the vertex, by taking the two answers, 8 and 2, from here, add them together and divide by 2. So 8 plus 2 is 10, divided by 2 gives me a 5. So the 5 is the x value of the vertex. To find the y value of the vertex, we stick the number back into the equation here and solve. So it becomes 1 times, if I put a line here, this becomes 5 minus 8. This becomes 5 minus 2. So it's 1 times negative 3, 5 minus 8, times